Speaking of health and lack of it, Holger Rune in at 15, and this one makes you a little sad. I've talked about Rune's game, and sometimes I watch and it's confusing, and all that doesn't matter when you see someone suffer a major injury like Holger did. You know, all the preferences of when we're talking about style of game and temperament, and if you have a thought about it or if you're critical about something, who gives a shit? At this point, we just want him to be healthy, right? An Achilles rupture when you're 22, 23 years old, fighting to be kind of on the upswing, and, you know, a guy who's been four in the world obviously has that upside. That's not anything anyone wants to see. I think empathy takes over for any criticism at that point.
This is really unfortunate. We've seen Achilles injuries in other sports, basketball in particular, and I think you hope he makes a full recovery, and if he does, the guy's got 10 more years of runway.
If I'm coaching someone who's going through the exact same thing, I want them projecting all of the energy that Holger is projecting right now. That's what I want. That's what I'd be trying to sell. And also, it's a major traumatic lower leg injury at 22 years old. Right? So we can sell it as we want, and I hope he gets back, and I hope we don't even remember it. Kobe Bryant was able to do it. Kevin Durant was able to do it. It can be done. It is a major injury, and we don't often see it in people this young. We are going to have Holger on before the Australian Open to kind of come in, give us an update on his injury, where he's actually at, have a conversation, maybe a retrospective on career to date, and then listen, he wants to come in and break down some of these current players, which is certainly, you know, we're at the point. He
does, I'm telling you.
We're at the point now where I played Novak, and that's kind of it, right? I need to know how, you know, I think sometimes us talking heads can only know so much without feeling what, you know, a slice from a certain person feels like, or, you know, the ball, you know, of Sinner tumbling towards us. I'm excited that he's coming on and that he kind of wants to try on the analyst hat. So we're going to have him on, I think it's the 13th or that one of those two, the Tuesday show before Aussie Open. I think something that I think is very important to this show is to get more current players on. Francis was nice enough to come on last week. I'm looking forward to having Holger on, and I'm sure we're going to stress test a lot of those opinions that he has about his recovery. But props to him for doing and saying everything possible early on in this recovery. Obviously, he's not going to be ranked 15 at the end of the year, so we'll save ourselves from that projection. I think a win is next year at this time, saying, you know what, I'm healthy enough and aiming for Australia in 27. So happy recovery to Holger Rune, and we'll get him on the show in about a month. Davidovich Fokina, listen, you're an insane person if you just don't want this guy to win a tournament, right? 14 in the world, has done amazing work, is crazy in all my favorite ways. You just don't know what's going to happen. You know, he's going to come out and hit 40 winners one day. The next day is like, you just don't know what's going to happen. I'm here for it. I like it. I want him to break through and win a tournament. I think it's been talked about so much that he thinks about it too much. Obviously, there are way less capable players who have won at a tour event. He is better than most of the tour. What say you, Jon Wertheim, with Davidovich Fokina?
Let me ask you a sort of a philosophical question. How much does a tournament title really mean? I mean, this guy, he won.
It's a good question.
In front of me, it's like 45 matches. What did he win? 44 matches. He's passed $10 million in career prize money. We know how good he is. He's played deep into May. I mean, there's so much to like here. Do we? I'm painting the jury here, but if he wins Almaty, he wins some 250, and he no longer is. It's like Anna Kournikova. But I mean, should we really care if he wins a 250 and this is no longer his label? Does it really change anything materially?
Okay, I'm with you. I agree with most of what you're saying, and nothing tour based will change if he goes and wins a tournament. Nothing will change, and it's on his mind. He talks about it very openly. So for his brain and his mental faculties and everything going on in there to get over that hump and win a tournament is a big deal. Like, it will be a big deal for him. And in a career retrospective, you know, would you rather be 70 in the world and have won a tour title, or 14 in the world and be Davidovich Fokina without a tournament title? Probably 14 in the world. I don't know. You got a clear path to the round of 16. That's some good cash, at Slam. So I think your point is well taken. And also, when the tour is just getting taller and taller and taller and taller, this guy's doing a great job. I mean, it's not easy. He's a guy who's 6'6". He still hits a big ball.
Nice wheels too, right?
Big wheel. Those calves, ooh, he's top 3 calves. I'll tell you that much right now. Those things can flex. Is still fully committed to the sock thing. He doesn't have a matching pair of socks still, I think.
We like quirk.
I do like characters. I like quirk. I like it when people go crazy. I like it when they have a little sock thing. I like it when, you go from the shaved head to the short one back to, I don't know.
Samurai,
I like Davidovich Fokina. I do. I like him. I don't know him from anyone. I've never met him, I don't think. And I want him to win a tournament. I will be very happy for him. I don't know why I'm so invested in it. I just think he's too good not to have won it, and I like his crazy. I hope he wins. That's my wish. One of my if I get 10, if I had a top 10 wish list for 2026, I'll burn one of them on Almaty. Whatever you said, wherever he's going to win.
All right, here comes a segue. Speaking of Almaty, would you burn a top 10 wish on the number 13 player?
A top 10. Well, I'll tell you this. So the 13 player, great segue, is Daniil Medvedev. Right. And so we need to give some credit to, obviously he didn't play as well. I talked to him for a while and I asked him, I go, can I talk about this on years? Typical Medvedev, I don't really care what you talk about. It's great. Okay. So we talk, and I think he was just trying to, I had dropped down and then kind of made a run back to the top 3 during my career. And, it basically just, I think chatting through it with someone who maybe had been through similar struggles, had won a slam, had been one, but all of these, then all of a sudden these superheroes come along and it's a bit of an uphill battle. So let's give credit where credit's due, right? And I think a lot of people maybe correctly say that I go soft on Medi when he goes nuts. I find it highly entertaining. And also I have a lot of respect for someone who can tell you 2 days later, yeah, I probably went too far. But I will tell you, after the US Open, he drops out of the top 20, right? Hasn't been winning anything, not back-to-back matches, has been, fully on struggle street. Goes and makes the semis in Shanghai, puts together some results to get himself back into the top 16. So his 2026 actually started post-US Open, right? Putting himself in position to where props. This is someone who could have very easily said, listen, I have this certain pedigree. He's going to be, the volume stats, he keeps going like he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think. Man. So, so this is someone who could have very easily said, you know what, this year sucks. Fuck this. And he goes, nope, I'm going to lean into the struggle, which is kind of like a microcosm of his entire game for his entire career. So
Medvedev won one match at a major in 2025.
Insane. And he's still 13, by the way.
And he's still 13 and he won that title. I mean, part of this is just, you feel for him. He's too good. He's too good a player to be playing this level of tennis. It's nice to see the last 90 days sort of salvaged his year, as you say. I also think selfishly, this ought to be one of the guys who we mention when we talk about who's going to challenge these Alcaraz and Sinner. So nice to see him re-entering this conversation. I mean, he isn't 30 years old yet. I think there's still some good tennis here. He's got to put it together in a major.
I get banged up for being a Medvedev apologist. I also think there is something to, he's really well liked away from the court. The locker room really likes him, and I think I put a lot of stock into that reputational value. You know what? I think he's in the top 10. Like when you said you won one match at a major, I'm going, man, he still finished 13. He won one match in a major. Like that's,
and that was against a guy ranked like 400.
Well, given the offset, and we obviously are a show that just moved out of a garage, so we don't really have a research department. Past Techie Sean feverishly just start banging his phone. But one match in a major, 13, that might be the highest ranking versus slam output offset. And it's not as if the guy can't play in slams. He's won them. He's been in finals of, 3 or 4 more. So I think Medi's back in the top 10 next year. I feel very confident after hearing your slam statistic, which I knew, but it wasn't really baked in there.
Let's do Casper. Where do we all like his professionalism. We all like him personally. We wonder, this is the old conversation, right? Does he have the weaponry? Nice, he had one nice win on clay, but I would say a B to B minus year for him. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think weirdly, I think he did a couple things way better this year. I think he became less predictable on the back end, kind of just rip and cross court. I think he mixed in up the line a little bit. I think he went to chip returns a little bit more often. I think Casper knows, listen, if I can have a great clay court season, right? Guys made multiple French Open finals. If I can have a great clay court season and then sneak in a couple big results, I'm 6 or 7 in the world. If I am inconsistent in the clay court season, even with the big result that he was able to have in Madrid, and I don't sneak in a couple, 2, 3 other big results, I'm 12. And I think that's the delta we're talking about. And we make it seem like it's a massive thing. I think it's 4 matches. It's 4, 5, 6 matches over the course of a year. I don't know that he's playing to the eyeball test. I don't think he played much worse this year, at all. But yeah, I mean, listen, would it surprise you if he was in the finals of the French Open next year? Yes, but only because that means Sinner or Alcaraz isn't.
Exactly.
But like if he's in the semis, that doesn't surprise anyone.
Sure. Yeah,
no.
Exactly.
If he makes a run to quarters, semis, nothing surprising for Casper Ruud at this point. It would shock me more if he was ranked 25 as opposed to 8 next year.
Right. Yeah, I think sort of the 8 to 12 range is probably where he belongs. And I think you also make a good point that we should stress, not all matches are created equal. And we do a show like this and you sort of look and the rankings do not follow win totals. So you win the right matches at the right time and you can move up or down in the rankings. And I think you're right. I think capitalizing, I mean, you're right. You look at his results and Madrid, great result. It's got to sting a little that he didn't back it up at Roland Garros, but I think you're right. If he does some real damage in clay, he sets himself up nicely. If he doesn't, it's going to be hard for him to be a top 10 player.
Yeah, non-negotiable for him being a top 10 player is damage at Masters Series events and making a run to a semi. Every other time where he's been in that, and credit to him, he's been a top 5, top 8 player for a long time.
Right. Well, he's had a great career. This is a maximizer. This is not a disappointer.
We're preaching to someone who knows how to do this and has done it. Right. So this is wasted breath. We're not saying anything that he doesn't know when he looks in the mirror. I think he's closer to 8 than he is to, dropping down further. Personally, Bublik, what the hell? Where is he going to be next year, JW? This guy goes from 70 something, a good quote, kind of goes with the confuse and conquer method when he's playing. And obviously, he was going to turn his year in life around at Roland Garros this year, right? Like, that was the obvious thing. This is why I love tennis. Makes no sense.
It makes no sense to him either. And I think to his great credit, he's like, I'm as baffled as you are. We all remember the story. He's outside the top 80, blows out of Indian Wells, and then, blows off some steam in Vegas. And then he goes and wins the Weller Evans Open in Phoenix, and that starts to kickstart things. And then you ask him, and he says, "You know what? I don't even think I want to be a top player." He is a baffling guy. I get the feeling baffling to himself. The results are all over the map. I mean, whoever he's taking down Dimonor and Draper on clay, beating Sinner. Then he beat Sinner on grass.
He had one of those
that Roland Garros. Let's go find that run. That is one of the more stunning results you will find.
He had one of those runs where it was like, oh, Demon. I'm like, oh, Demon will tough him out. Like Demon in the extended format comes back from 2 sets down. Oh yeah, okay. And then Draper, like we forget, we're gonna get to Draper next, but like Draper was maybe the 3rd best player in the world for the first 4 months of the year. Like Rip City was like
grind them down
great on clay. Bublik, that was the day that we shot the Andre interview, was when Bublik and Draper were on. And Andre was like, I think Bublik has a chance. I'm like, no, he doesn't. And guess what? Is he a top 8 guy, JW? Or is this
he's
the
11.
most fun story ever?
He's 11 and he's defending nothing until the big Phoenix Open. Your guess is as good as his.
He's going to get to the top 10 because he has nothing for the first 3.5 months. But where does he end next year? If I give you over under top 20 Bublik next year,
I'd say no. I'd say he's outside the top 20. I just, but I this sport in particular, you need a certain measure of consistency, and who the hell knows? But this is a guy who's I think big guy, deceptively athletic, can dial in that serve.
And also, like if he doesn't know what he's going to do, how the hell are you supposed to guard against it?
Goes to these matches sometimes and he says, I don't think I'm going to hit too many second serves, and he's just hitting, 132 second serve. I mean, it's
so annoying.
Great to have him in the cast.
Great. I love characters.
It's like crypto. We love characters.